Hi friends, good morning. This is Suvarna Keshav welcoming you all to Suvarna's Travel World from Ikkeri. We are now at the Aghoreshwara temple built by the Keladi Nayakas in the Sagar Taluk of Shimoga district in Karnataka. These are the ornate pillars. The bottommost panel has beautiful sculptures like this. Ikkeri grew into a powerful independent kingdom with capital at Keladi under the early Vijayanagara chiefs. During the reign of Chaudappa Nayaka from AD 1499 to 1544, the capital was shifted from Keladi to Ikkeri for reasons unknown. The Jali work is very similar to the Hoysala architecture, where we see the Jalis in the outer walls in the Hoysala temples of Belur and Halebeedu. The beautifully carved lion faces adorn the outer walls like this. The north-south oriented Aghoreshwara temple, built in granite during the time of the Nayakas of Keladi, is a classic example of the Nayaka style of architecture. There is an interesting myth engraved in this temple. On the left hand side of the wall, there is a scorpio and two lizards engraved. Between the two lizards is a line dividing them. It is said that when the lizards cross this line and are able to touch each other, the world would come to an end. Though cast in stone, I must say that the lizards are not too far apart. This may or may not have been a part of the original temple, as it does not gel with the rest of the fine sculpture and is very raw and is definitely carved by a novice. Stylistically, the architecture of this temple is datable to 16th century AD. We also see a lot of temple towers like this on the outer walls here. Here we can see a Pradakshina Patha as well, that is a path to go round the temple. I'm not sure whether there has been some renovation work here, because it is very different in color from the stones which are in the main temple. And here we have the Pranala also, the place where the Abhishekam water is discharged outside. And this is the Pranala, as I already mentioned. And here is a small pit like construction where the discharged water collects and goes away. There are a few constructions like this all around the temple. The outer walls here are not really very ornately carved. It is quite simple. Unlike the main temple, that is the Aghoreshwara temple, it is to the back. This is a very beautiful piece of architecture which is at the back of the temple. Here we have the temple Gopuram of the Aghoreshwara temple. Here also we can see the imaginary animal Makara. We can notice that it is very different from the Hoysala type of architecture, as the outer walls are adorned with god figurines, that of Keshava, Shiva, and stories from the Bhagavata, Ramayana, and Mahabharata in the Hoysala style. But here we see most of the architecture is regarding some animals or flowers or imaginary animals. We also see a moon face structure like this, and also the leaves are carved in different patterns. And here also we have a deity, a very beautiful piece of architecture. I'm almost all alone in this temple today. Nobody to stop me from recording. Earlier, when I made the first episode, I had a lot of problems here recording this beautiful temple, but fortunately, there is nobody to stop me today. I'm doing a pradakshine going round the outer walls of the temple, and this is one of the side entrances to the temple. These are some of the figurines here, very different from Hoysala style. This is Chandeshwara Devaru here, a form of Lord Shiva. This is the abode of Akhilandeshwari Ammanavaru, a form of Mata Parvati. This is another temple which is adjacent to the Aghoreshwara temple. So Shiva and Parvati are residing together in two different temples in this temple complex. These are the Dwarapalakas in the Akhilandeshwari Ammanavaru temple, one on either side. This is Akhilandeshwari Ammanavaru. Adorned with lot of colorful hibiscus flowers. This is the closer look of the yalis here. These are the Namaskara Shasanas. Engraved by some devotee. This is the ornately carved doorway here. The arch looks beautiful. This is the Nandi Mantapa. The northern main entrance is flanked by caparisoned elephants. These are the Dwarapalakas, Balabhadra and Veerabhadra on either side. On plan, the Aghoreshwara temple has a Garbhagriha, an Ardha Mantapa and a large Mukha Mantapa with a separate pavilion for Nandi. The Garbhagriha contains a gigantic pedestal sculptured with 32 seated female figures. In the Ardha Mantapa is a small translucent Nandi carved out of white spar. This is the artistically carved temple ceiling. Friends, we are at the Aghoreshwara temple in Ikkeri. This has been built by the Nayakas Earlier, Kedadi was their capital and it was then shifted to Ikkeri. This is a wonderful example of Nayaka architecture. Here are the ornately carved, beautiful pillars which are carved, and these are the pillars which are supporting the ornately carved ceiling. And we can see the lotus-like formations being carved, very similar to the Hoysala type of architecture. And there are also some lotus-like flowers which have been carved on all the sides of the square which we see. Flanking the Ardhamantapa doorway, on either side are two niches containing Ganesha and Subramanya to the right. Kartikeya is also called Shanmukha, which means a person with 6 faces, and here we can clearly make out he has 6 faces. These are the statues of Balabhadra and Veerabhadra on either side, the Shiva Ganas. The smell of Vibhuti, the divine scent of Shiva, is filling up the air. As it is a Shiva temple, Lord Shiva will be worshipped with lots of Vibhuti here. The front Mukha Mandapa is supported by carved pillars. Exteriorly, the sanctum has a huge shikara in the Dravida order. This is Mata Durgamba. This is Kalabhairaveshwara Swami. The walls of the sanctum have double pilaster turrets. The walls of the Mukhamandapa are pierced with 3 ornate doorways approached by balustrated steps. Interiorly, the floor in front of the shrine has effigies of 3 Keladi chiefs paying obeisance. The available space of the walls is provided with nearly 20 perforated windows with ornamental arches interspersed with figure sculptures. The Nandi Mantapa has a huge cochin bull with a yali balustrated steps at south. So let us go around the Nandi. These are the beautiful bells around Nandiji, and even at the back there have been ornate ornaments made out of bells which adorn Nandi. And this is another look of the Nandi from another corner of this Nandi Mantapa. From here we can very neatly witness the horns as well. Here is a close-up of the ornaments with jingles and bells. The Nandi Mantapa has lion based pillars.
ಈ ಮಂಟಪದ ಕೆಲಸವಗೈದ ಆಚಾರಿ ಪೂಂಬುಚದ ವೆಂಕಟಯ್ಯನು.
That was the divine journey around the Aghoreshwara temple at Ikkeri. Friends, please do like, share, and subscribe to Suvarna's Travel World for more interesting and informative videos. It's a bye bye for now.